Hey, Brian here again. Just want to let you know that I have issues with bike lanes. Okay, I don't actually have issues with bike lanes in general. I have issues with certain bike lanes. Let me tell you what I actually do like about bike lanes, first of all, because I'm actually a rider and I drive and I see bike lanes being used and misused and all kinds of things. So what I like about bike lanes is that they're really good for new riders to help them build confidence. I think, even when I started out riding a few years ago, I had been off the bike for a while. I got back on it, and it helped me kind of learn how to really ride in traffic, or at least be a little more diligent when I'm out there. So I think that does work for helping new riders build confidence. Second of all, I think that drivers become more aware of that bikes actually do belong on the roads. I really believe that bikes belong on the road. I believe that bikes and cars should really share the road. And bike lanes kind of help get bicycles to get out there to share the road while not getting in the way of drivers, and drivers realize that, hey, there's a bike lane out here. Bikes do belong out here. Third of all, I think bike lanes create this imaginary and legal boundary between cars and bikes. And I think that's a good thing because there's a fine line between where bikes should be and where cars should be. And there are times that bikes should not be in the bike lane, and that's fine, but there are also times when bikes in the bike lane actually help all the traffic keep flowing. So there's nothing wrong with it. I think that's a good thing. But part of the disadvantage of having bike lanes is that they actually do give this false impression that bikes belong only in the bike lanes. And that's simply not true. In fact, legally, bikes belong on the road and are permitted to use bike lanes and shoulders, but are not required to. So bikes actually do belong on the road. Bottom line. Second, I think bike lanes are not always well designed. I always think about, some bike lanes which basically just stop at some random spot, or bike lanes that are like on the far right side, and then you've got a car on to the bicyclist's left that wants to turn. Basically, you've got to look out for the car that might give you the right hook or whatever. And then, of course, there are bikes that want to turn left, and they actually might decide that they need to stay in the bike lane. Legally, you're allowed to get out of the bike lane if you want to make a left-hand turn, especially if you have to cross a couple of lanes of traffic. Finally, I think bike lanes give you this false sense of security, especially when bicyclists ride the wrong way. They think that they're in a bike lane, so they're fine, even though they're riding against traffic. That could not be further from the truth. Bicyclists, when you're riding on the road, you need to stay in the same direction as traffic, never against, because you're in traffic. You are a legal vehicle. So finally, I just want to close by saying I think bikes are good for helping riders become more confident in traffic, and I think they're good for also helping more experienced riders stay a little more mindful about riding in traffic. And I think they're also good for drivers to help them realize that, hey, bikes do actually belong on the road. Second of all, I just want to say that when bike lanes are designed properly, they're actually very effective. I've seen some very good bike lanes out there where they actually help traffic flow, and they help both vehicle traffic as well as bicycle traffic. And finally, I think bicyclists and drivers just need more education. I think what it comes down to is the fact that bicyclists need to know that they are actually responsible vehicle operators out on the road as well as motor vehicles. Motor vehicle drivers just need to be really aware of what's going on out there. They need to be aware of their surroundings. They need to know what's going on and realize that there are other users out there that are smaller. Whether it's bicycles, motorcycles, pedestrians, what have you. There are so many users out there, and the roads do not belong just to cars and trucks. Bicyclists, on the other hand, also need to realize that they need to follow the rules of the road just as much as any other vehicle. You also need to watch for pedestrians. You also need to stay off the sidewalks whenever the city that you're in tells you stay off the sidewalks. You also need to watch out for other vehicles. Don't try to cut them off, because between you and the larger vehicle, who do you think is going to win that fight physically? And believe me, 3,000-pound vehicle versus 200-pound bicycle, no contest. Those are my issues with bike lanes. Let me know what you think. Put some comments down here in the doobly-doo, and looking forward to hearing from you guys. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you out on the road.